All right, let's dive in. You probably think you know the story of the Princess and the Pea, right? Well, forget that version. We're about to get into the real story, a tale of a desperate prince, a total mystery woman, and a test so bizarre, it's legendary. So here's how it all kicks off. Once upon a time, there's this prince who wants to get married. Simple enough, right? But here's the catch. She has to be a real princess. Not just any princess, but the genuine article. And believe me, that one little word, real, oh, it's about to cause a world of trouble for him. And yeah, this wasn't just some casual preference for the prince. No, it was basically an obsession. He sets off on this massive, all-consuming quest to find a bride who could meet that one single, almost impossible standard. I mean, this guy went everywhere. He traveled all over the world. And it's not like he couldn't find any princesses, there were plenty. But with every single one, something was just off. You know, something wasn't quite right. So he comes home, totally heartbroken and dejected, because the one thing he wants more than anything seems completely out of reach. Okay, so the prince is at rock bottom. But just when things look hopeless, fate, or maybe just some really, really bad weather decides to step in. The outside world is about to knock on his door, literally. And it's going to be a very, very unexpected visitor. So it all starts one evening. But this was no ordinary night. A terrible storm rolled in. You've got thunder booming, lightning just splitting the sky, and the rain, it's not just raining, it's coming down in sheets. Absolute chaos. And then somehow through all that noise, a knock. A knock at the city gate. Can you imagine? Faint, but it's there. Someone is outside in that. So the old king, he goes to open the gate himself. And what he sees is just wow. There's a princess standing there, but she is a complete and total mess. Water is just streaming from her hair, her clothes, even her shoes. She's soaked to the bone. And yet, through all that, she makes this incredible claim. I'm a real princess. Now, the prince is intrigued, but his mom, the queen, she is not buying it. Not for a second. A real princess showing up looking like that? Yeah, right. But she's got a plan. A very clever and, let's be honest, a very peculiar plan to get to the bottom of this. She doesn't say a word to anyone, but you can just imagine the wheels turning in her head. She thinks to herself, well, we'll soon find that out. She is totally cool and confident. She's about to set up the ultimate, secret royal test. And her plan is so specific, it's practically a science experiment. Okay, first, she goes into the guest bedroom. Second, she takes every last bit of bedding off the bedstead. Third, she lays one single pea right on the bottom. And finally, she starts piling all the bedding back on. The trap is officially set. Okay, and this is where things go from weird to completely nuts. On top of that tiny little pea, she piles 20 mattresses. Not 2, not 10, 20 mattresses. Think about that. It's an insane barrier. And wait, she's not even done. On top of those 20 mattresses, she adds another 20 eider-down beds. We're talking about a literal mountain of bedding, a fortress of fluff, and it is all sitting on top of one little pea. So the trap is ready. The unsuspecting princess is shown to her room to sleep on this contraption. You can bet the whole royal family, especially the queen, is just on the edge of their seats waiting for morning. The next morning, it's the moment of truth. They ask her the big question, how did you sleep? And her answer is just stunning. Oh, very badly, she says. I have scarcely closed my eyes all night. She goes on saying she feels like she's black and blue all over. It's horrible. For her, it was basically a night of pure torture. And there you have it. That's the story's whole definition of what makes a real princess. Apparently, it's someone who is so incredibly, so delicately sensitive that they can feel a single pea through, let's see, 20 mattresses and 20 eider-down beds. That is some next-level sensitivity. So the proof was right there in the pea. Her terrible night's sleep was all the validation they needed. The queen's crazy, impossible test, she passed. And the prince? He was over the moon. Finally, his long, frustrating search was over. He knew for sure now that he had a real princess, all thanks to what has to be the weirdest quality control test of all time. So, of course, he married her right away.
But what about the pea? You gotta wonder what happened to the little thing that changed everyone's fate.
Well, they didn't just toss it. No way. This pea was put in the museum. It became a piece of history where people could still see it, as long as no one has stolen it by now. And that's the story, which really just leaves us with one final question, doesn't it? Could you pass the pea test?